Day 3 of me rewatching and reviewing The Legend of Korra every day until I finish the series. This will be episode 3. Let's talk about it. Let's start with the pros this time. Pro number 1. The introduction of the Equalists in full force was well done in this episode. Also, I will go ahead and list my next pro so I can discuss both at the same time. Pro number 2. The brother dynamic between Mako and Bolin makes sense and is highly engaging. Bolin is the younger, more cheerful and innocent brother. He sees a lot of good in the world and stays positive, even seeming immature and carefree at times, but always meaning well. Though being so innocent he fell for a scam from someone whose name is literally Shady Shin was kind of funny, but it does make sense for his character to be this dim-witted. Mako being the way he is also tracks. He exudes older brother energy, and his more alert and closed-off nature is very telling of the life he's lived taking care of his younger brother. He steps up and gets a job to cover the both of them, and is always looking out for Bolin thus far. Now to tie this with the first pro, dragging Korra into this brother duo dynamic as a friend/love interest, and then having Bolin be kidnapped by the Equalists perfectly ties Korra into this villainous faction of the season. This was not her problem before, but now it's personal. They went after someone she cares about, and she's doing something about it. I like this story direction. My final pro is the Equalists and Amon. Their reveal here is brilliant. They present the perfect amount of menacing. Who better to be enemies for the Avatar than chi blockers who disable bending and a man who takes bending away? They did this part absolutely right. However, I am still to be convinced that there is any inequality in the city. Wealth still seems like the biggest indicator in inequality, not bending. Now let's get to the cons. Number 1 is the complete normalization of advanced bending, both lightning and the ability to take away bending. I make it a rule not to judge the show for something that hasn't happened yet, so I am giving this season until the very end to explain to me how Amon is able to take away bending. If it does not, I am taking away 1 point from the overall season rating average. As for the lightning, it seems crazy that it's been trivialized so much that even no-name factory workers are able to casually fire out bursts of the most advanced firebending technique that requires precision control over negative and positive energies within you. But this is less of a serious con and more of a personal gripe. My second con should be obvious already, but it's the lack of any substance to the inequality, because again, I am yet to see any inequality happening. This episode alone showed me an avatar get beaten up by non-benders, and a non-bender taking away bending. I even saw a single non-bender beating the crap out of 2 pro-bending champions, and you are telling me there is inequality? Yeah, I do not believe you. What I believe is that when a non-bender trains, they can wipe out any bender. Proof is literally in this episode, so find a better angle to promote that stupid agenda, or I am deducting more points. The last con is silly, so don't take it seriously, but really, writers, firebenders killed my families being used twice. For both Amon and Mako and Bolin, it wasn't enough that they already were seen as villains in The Last Airbender, but you can't get any more creative than firebenders being evil, really? Even Avatar The Last Airbender made it a point to show that not just firebenders are oppressive, waterbenders and earthbenders could do it too, as shown with Hammer, and the earthbender with the hammers that fought Zuko. If you hate firebenders that much, just invent a slur already. I would very much find it funnier that way. Anyway, I will use the summary today to talk about something I personally liked about the episode. The romantic plotline between Korra and Mako feels more natural and is building gradually, which is good. It shows the writers kind of know what they are doing. But this is me pretending I don't know that they are going to have a swarm of seagulls dump all over this plotline in the next episode, so take the victories as they come, I guess. The rating for this episode is a 9.5 out of 10. They fixed a lot of the stuff I didn't like so far, so I see no reason to actually rate it any lower. The Equalists are finally here, the plotline is moving forward, the characters are being fleshed out, and the villains are actual threats that Korra cannot stubbornly defeat. I like this episode more than the last 2, and my rating reflects that. As an added note, in the last episode I complained about Korra learning the air movements way too quickly, but at the start of this episode, we see her go through the training again, and she is clearly tired at the end of it, showing that she didn't master it yet. She is still in training. This is a good way to show Korra's progression in airbending training. So, 9 9.5 is my final rating for the episode. But what did you think of this episode? See you tomorrow for episode 4.